It's finally here, y'all. Today we got the Dark Knights Metal Omnibus by Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. It has a $150 cover price and a 744 page count. Let's get into this omnibus review. Alrighty, so let's hop right into this review here. This had a lot of hype around it, man. I think people were hyped up about this from a lot of the statues from Prime 1 Studios and stuff like that. But we got the Absolute Edition, and now we have the Dark Knights Metal Omnibus. Great matte finish on this dust jacket here with like the metal kind of a shimmering look on the metal parts here. You get the great like Batman different logos here with also the metal look. Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo little bios there. Then you get the actual book itself, very glossy finish, and it's got that metal look to it with Dark Knights Metal on the spine. Very similar to the Absolute Edition that just came out, but this is going to have all the tie-ins and such included in this, which makes it a lot easier to read and kind of understand the story. The binding is very tight in this, and the page quality is very thick, so you definitely want to give this thing a good stretch. You're going to get gutter loss throughout this, but I mean, it is a very well-made book. So opening it up, you get the Dark Knights Metal there, and then you get the credits here with everybody who worked on this book. Like I said, the Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo, the main ones, and then you're going to get a table of contents. This does go in reading order, which is super nice, so you're going to kind of understand the story a lot better than you would if you got the Absolute Edition. There are page numbers, but there actually aren't page numbers throughout this book, so you're just going to kind of have to keep track of where you're at when you're reading this. It's kind of weird that they have the page numbers there, but not on the actual pages. But it is what it is. So getting into this book, man, one of the main things I'll say about this book is the artwork is phenomenal, man. It is absolutely gorgeous. And another thing, now previously you would have the two Scott Snyder omnibuses of Batman before this that you probably want to read before you get into the Dark Knights Metal Omni here. But I mean, honestly, it's a standalone. I have not read that prior material. I'm more of a Marvel guy. I love these character designs and stuff throughout this and the whole Dark Knights Metal theme. So I've been wanting to read this. I got into this and I didn't feel in any way, shape, or form kind of lost with the story. It starts off well and it does expand throughout this pretty well. So you don't really feel, you don't need to read the prior material before getting into this, which is nice. So getting into this Dark Knights Metal stuff here, man, like I said, you got a great cast of characters throughout this, and you get a bunch of new introductions to these different versions of Batman, which is really sick, man. I think that's a big part of the reason why that this story was so popular with people, was just because you have these different crazy versions of the Batman, like the Devastator, the Red Death, the Merciless, the Batman Who Laughs, which is huge, man. There's been so many damn variant covers, and that sick Joker looking Batman just incorporated and stuff. I mean, they have that crazy statue from Prime 1 Studios. So much great stuff, man. So you got like the Drown too, what is it, Red Death, the Murder Machine, all these different versions of this Batman in this crazy multiverse with included with all these characters and stuff. And it's just a crazy ass epic story, and I was really happy with this. I haven't read any DC stuff in a long time, so I've been kind of waiting on this one just to kind of, I don't know, get me back into the DC stuff. I'll probably start doing a little bit more DC reviews soon, especially after reading this, because I was a huge fan of this, man. I mean, the story is just really good, and just the artwork, as you can see here, is just absolutely phenomenal throughout all this, man. Capullo kills it. The covers throughout this are just amazing. Great Batman Who Laughs there, the close-up of his teeth, and you get the weird little Robins, man. Just absolutely phenomenal stuff. This is a definitely an Omni that I think everybody should get, man. The Absolute Edition is a pass because it's a expensive book, man. $125 for the Absolute, and then you don't get all the tie-ins that are collected in this omnibus. Now, this does have a $150 cover price, and for 744 pages, that's kind of a smaller Omni, so it's definitely super pricey. So it's probably definitely the smarter thing to do is to go with the Omnibus rather than the Absolute. And if you're looking to get your book, man, I get all of my books from organicpricebooks.com, the best place to get your Omnibus and other collected editions. Super fast shipping, bulletproof packaging, and amazing customer service. Use promo code DROCK to get $2 off your purchase at organicpricebooks.com. You can also use code DROCK Ship It Together to get 5% off your order of 3 or more books. So join the OPB family today. Link is in the description. Okay, so let's get into what this book actually does collect, because I know on numerous sites it actually doesn't tell you what's collected in this omnibus for some reason. Not sure why they did that. They had a weirdness with the covers and stuff too. They just recently released like what the covers would be and all that. They had some previous ones that were solicited that never came to be. So maybe I don't know what's up with all that. But so this omnibus collects the entire Dark Knights Metal saga plus all the tie-in stories from the epic event, including Dark Days, The Forge #1, Dark Days, The Casting #1, Dark Knights Rising, The Wild Hunt #1, Batman The Red Death #1, Batman The Murder Machine #1, Batman The Dawnbreaker #1, Batman The Drown #1, Batman The Merciless #1, Batman The Devastator #1, Dark Knights The Batman Who Laughs #1, Teen Titans 12, Nightwing 29, Suicide Squad 26, Green Arrow 32, The Flash 33, Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps 32, Justice League 32 through 33, Batman Lost #1, and Hawkman Found #1. So with all these tie-ins and stuff that are included in this book, you're going to get the origins of all these different Batman characters, and it'll really help add and kind of make a cohesive story of what happens in this Dark Knights Metal event, this crazy multiverse event that happens, man. Just super badass, super death metal. Love the vibes throughout this story, man. Love the character designs. I think the Devastator, the mashup with Bat and Doomsday is just really sick. The Drown there looking awesome in The Fear of the Dark. So you're going to get a bunch of these stories based on characters. A lot of this book, getting into what this story is actually throughout this, a lot of this whole Dark Knights Metal story is basically kind of like, I don't know, giving the true origin of Carter Hall, Hawkman, and kind of expanding on that a bit. His origins have been kind of different throughout the years, and this whole kind of little saga that is contained in this pages of the Dark Knights Metal here kind of brings that to light of what it actually is, which is kind of good to see. I'm not like huge deep into these characters and stuff like that, so I was kind of unaware of that, but after reading this, you kind of get it a little bit more. You got Devastator just absolutely jacking Superman there, which is sick. More of the Batman Who Laughs, who pops up throughout this book a lot, man. So that's getting into the Carter Hall stuff and Hawkman. It expands on that quite a bit, and you do get the origins of that, which is kind of good. I guess if you're a huge DC fan before, it's probably nice to just kind of have that fleshed out a little bit more and established in the continuity of the DC multiverse. So like I said, there's one of the chapter 3, so we're on to chapter 3 now. But in the beginning with the Forge, where it first starts out in this omnibus, it's gonna have like journal entries from Carter Hall, and you're gonna have also Batman kind of working on this mystery, really, as he always does. Wayne Enterprises is underwater, kind of working on this area, which Aquaman kind of finds out. There's an event that happens where, Batman has been doing some research, because apparently, I'm trying to get into this like non-spoiler free as possible, but apparently there's like this Dark Knights multiverse that is under Gotham City, where all these beings and all these dark creatures and things of that nature could come about if this prophecy happens, and this will all be unleashed, and there's like this doorway and all that, and it all has to do with this like metal, which also is very close to meta. Like all these superhumans in this throughout this are called meta, so which was very close to metal, so Scott Snyder kind of tied that in as well. But it has to do with this weird, like, Nith metal, I believe that it was called, and kind of Batman just researching this, and just the fact that all this stuff could come about and just kind of take over, and Batman trying to prevent that from happening, and then also you have, like, Batman's true like father or whatever like coming. It's a lot to kind of go into, like a ton of details, so it's really hard to explain. I could just say that it is really dope, man. It is one of the best stories I've read in a long time, and I really just going along with the artwork and stuff like that. I mean, John Romita Jr., Jim Lee, you have obviously Greg Capullo on this as well. So many great artists, and with Scott Snyder's just writing, man, he kills it. You got the sick Joker dragon there, which is really badass. Prime One Studios did a fantastic statue of that as well. So getting into, you have to chapter 6 here. So there's 6 chapters actually. I think I said 5 before, but I do like how it's like broken up into different chapters like that, which definitely kind of helps to read it along. At least you can bang out a chapter here and there quick and then kind of chill out for a little bit. So Definitely a cool story, man. I definitely highly recommend checking it out. You get a ton of different variant covers and stuff collected in the back here. I mean, this had so many different covers, just really fantastic artwork. You got the Devastator there. Then here we got the Francisco Mantina covers here with the Batman Who Laughs. Some more artwork from him. What's it? Gabriel Del Otto, Red Death. So then you get a bunch of these character designs throughout here too. The Merciless, the Red Death, the Devastator, the Murder Machine, the Drowned. Then you get the Dawnbreaker, of course, and the Batman Who Laughs. So great character designs on this, man. I thought this was really cool. I'm like huge horror fan and stuff like that, and I thought that's combined a lot of like horror elements and just like crazy metal elements. So the Nightmare Batman logos there and stuff like that. That is the DM variant cover right there as well. Some little bios on the writers and creators here. All around a fantastic book, man. Really dug this story. Let me know what you think about this omnibus down in the comments, and thanks for watching.